G'day. Just finished a radio show. Want to share something with you just for a minute or two from my heart. My wife Lizka has been on holidays in Indonesia, in Jakarta, and she has been living it up, and she's been eating. Almost 4 weeks she's been away, and I'm missing her. But she kind of looks after her two sons and me, her big boy, because every week online she orders our groceries in. They're brought around to our house by a truck and dropped off. But sometimes she falls short in what I call some very important necessities. Maybe she hasn't ordered enough ice cream, or she might not have even ordered the chocolate. Well, that's not good. Or the donuts, there's not enough of them. No, not really. But I do have to top up every week, just little things that we need. And I've been noticing something. Now, Liska orders from Coles. I shop at Woolworths. I don't know why that is. I always shopped at Woolworths. I know the Woolworths store. I know where to go to get the groceries, where to get the stuff there, and so I go to Woolworths. And I'm walking into Woolworths and I'm seeing increasingly, and this is not a one-off thing, and if you shop, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Increasingly, there are less and less and less produce on the shelves of the stores we shop at. And then I came across this article in news.com.au, biggest online newspaper in Australia, and this is what it said this morning. Dire weeks ahead as Woolworths predicts prolonged shortage across a range of vegetables. Goes on to say because of the flood and supply issues that some of our favourite, well for me, some of our favourite vegetables either going to be sky high through the roof expensive or just not available. Listen to this. Herbs not available to August. Zucchini, green beans, tomatoes. Oh my goodness. Tomatoes not available. Asian leafy vegetables, lettuce. Oh, we all know about the $12 a head lettuce. I'm never paying $12 for a head of lettuce. Don't even like lettuce. Berries, baby spinach. That's one of my go-to foods. Broccolini, grapes. All these things are not really going to be available in our Woolworths, Aldi, Coles, IGA stores. And I have never seen this in all my life. I think there's some canaries whistling in the coal mine. Electricity going through the roof. Not only going out of this world when it comes to what it costs, they're struggling to put it down the power lines and into our homes. Can you believe it? In Australia, interest rates, kaboom. Petrol, diesel, kaboom. I filled my little car up the other day, my tiny little Mazda 323, over $100. Wow, come on. I have to take a mortgage out soon to pay for my car. Rents going through sky high through the roof. There's something going on with the supply chain, and it's uncomfortable to look at it. Most of us are ignoring it. But it's out there, and I want to put it to you, there's a canary in the coal mine. My brother is a truckie. He's talking about selling his truck because he just cannot afford to pay the thousands and thousands of dollars it is to fill it up with diesel. And guys like my brother, if they sell their truck and they get out of transport, that puts a lot of pressure on our supply here in Australia. Something is going on. And you look at the wars, the rumours of wars, Russia, Ukraine, threatening nuclear holocaust. I mean, what a world are we living in? And I just couldn't help but think to myself, it reminds me of what Jesus said the world would be like just before he returns. It's actually quite amazing. Matthew chapter 24 and Luke chapter 21, two great chapters in the Bible where Jesus talks about what it'll be like at the end of the world. Let me go to Luke 21, because what I want to do is I want to read to you verse 26. This is Jesus sitting down with his disciples, and he's talking to them about what it'll be like at the end of the world. I mean, go and read these chapters, Matthew 24, Luke 21. Verse 26, this is what he says. People, you and me, will be terrified at what they see coming upon the earth, for the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Jesus says, as we get to the end of time, which I believe we're into it. He says people are going to be terrified as they look at what is coming in the future. I mean, you read Matthew 24, Luke 21, Jesus talks about famine. We have never experienced famine in the Western world. But can you imagine what it would be like to turn up to Woolworths or Coles or Aldi, IGA, to do your weekly shopping, and it's not there? I think it's going to happen. And maybe sooner than we think. And Jesus says at the end of time, people are going to guess this is their future, and they're going to be terrified. But I want to tell you just a couple of things, and this is the first one. You don't need to be. Hebrews 13 verse 6, Jesus said, I will never leave you, I will never forsake you. If you go into your supermarket and there is no food, Jesus said, I am there, I will not forsake you. If you can't pay your electricity bill or you've got no electricity, Jesus said, I am there, I will not forsake you. If interest rates go so high that you can't pay your mortgage, you've got nowhere to live, Jesus said, I am there, I will not forsake you. No matter what happens to you, if your country, if your nation is torn apart from war, Jesus said, I am there, I will not forsake you. If everything is taken away from you and you have nothing, Jesus said, I am still there, I will never forsake you. And we need to grab hold of that promise. So not only do we need to grab hold of that promise, we need to I'm telling you, if you're a believer, you need to start taking Jesus seriously, and we need to get into the presence of Jesus Christ. I'm talking to believers, I'm talking to Christians for a moment here. We need to go back to church. It's no longer good enough to sleep in on Sabbath on Saturday morning when you should be up and at church. You should be at Sabbath school, Bible study. You should be at the worship service. If your church starts at 9:30, you should be there at 9:30. You should be there at 9:10, sitting down ready to go. If your church starts at 10 o'clock, that's my one, New Hope, you should be there at 9:45. You cannot afford to miss church in this day, in this time, in this hour. Why? Because when you go to church, you're with other believers who are struggling like you are, and you will encourage each other, and you will put your arms around each other, and you will help each other to look up at Jesus. Jesus is at church, and Jesus is with his people, and every time you go to church, you're with his people, you're getting encouraged, and you're getting fueled up to go out there and keep going in a world that's fallen apart. Go to church. Get into your Bible study. I mean, we need to get serious we don't just need to get serious about going to church, we've got to get serious. We need to be very serious about Bible study. I'm talking about studying the Bible. Listen to me. I'm talking about reading and studying the Bible in the morning. I'm talking about reading and studying the Bible at night. Why? Because Jesus is in the Bible. Go to church, Jesus is there. You're in the Bible, Jesus is there. Jesus is there. He's there powerfully. And I've been saying this over and over for the last few months. You don't know where to go in the Bible? You want to study beginnings? Go to the book of Genesis. You want to study the story of Jesus? Go to Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. Want to study the story? Look at the story of the early Christian church? Go to the book of Acts. If you want to look at the tremendous prophecies about what will happen at the end of the world, read Matthew 24, read Luke 21, and then go to the books of Daniel and the Revelation. Oh man, stunning prophecies there. If you want to be with Jesus, get into your Bible, and lastly, pray. Get on your knees and pray. Set time aside, just you and him. This intimate stuff where you and Jesus are talking to each other. Go into your walk-in wardrobe. Go into your spare room. Go into your office. Go and sit in the bathroom and lock the door if you have to, and get on your knees. And if you can't get on your knees, sit down and pray. And talk to Jesus. And tell him about your fears and your struggles and your battles. Because I'm telling you something, and I'm sensing it. This world is crashing. It's coming to an end. I could tell you. I talked to Hunty, our producer and director, about this. Should we store up food? Well, look, it's good enough for Joseph to store a bit of food up. I don't think it hurts us to have a little bit of food in stock, maybe a couple of months, but that's not enough to get you through. What's ahead of us? You're going to need Jesus. There is no other way to get through but Jesus. Don't be fooled. Wake up. Know Jesus. Walk with Jesus. Then no matter what happens, and no matter how loud the canary sings, you're going to be okay. I wish you Jesus. I hope Jesus for you. I encourage you to walk with Jesus. Go this journey with Jesus. Thanks for listening. See ya.